Let's put together this arrangement today. Let's put together this beautiful summery flower arrangement. This uses all perennial flowers that are probably growing in your yard, specifically the star of the show in late springtime, peonies. Here's what you need. You need this cute scalloped basket. It comes in a set of 2. I'll link it below. This is the smaller of the 2 baskets, but you could use either one for this arrangement with the same recipe. Inside this basket, I have 2 square-shaped vases. They have water in them, so I can't tilt it too much, but you can see how they take up most of the room inside of this basket. The nice thing about this basket, it has 2 little handles, so you can easily carry it around and move it around your space. To fill my arrangement today, I have tons of Sarah Bernhardt peonies. Most are in the marshmallow stage like this. Some are just starting to open up. These guys will open up really big. Look at how big they get. That's huge. That's like the size of my head. So just keep that in mind depending on what size focal flower you're using, how big they'll get when they fully open. For filler flower and greenery today, I have Shasta daisies. I have some cosmos that started blooming. I have this tiny little patch of the sweetest little snapdragons. I have some apple mint. I have some branches from my dappled willow, and I have bolted arugula flowers. Everything here is either a perennial or an annual that comes back year after year by reseeding itself at my house. So this is what's available to me in Zone 6B in Connecticut in the late spring, early summer. Any basket will work, but I like the scallop basket because it has these scallops that have natural peaks and pits. So depending on how you're trying to arrange your flowers, you can place a flower on the upper part of the scallop to hold it up a little more, or within one of the peaked grooves to hold it at that particular spot. So that's why I like the scallops. So I'm gonna place my peonies in. I'll remove off any leaves. I'll remove some of these. This guy's gonna open. You can tell by squeezing, you can see some of the sepals. Sepals are modified leaves. Just starting to separate on the peony. So this guy's gonna open. These guys are really small. I'm not entirely sure if they will, so I'll pull those off. And as I'm moving here, I'm just trying to first place along the outer edge a sort of like ring of peonies, and then I'm going to work with some of my filler and my other flowers to build up a rounded arrangement around it. Also, by working with the peonies first, they have pretty large stems, so they almost create kind of a grid shape while I'm placing them, and that helps to anchor the rest of the flowers in when we finally place them. Just taking them, kind of laying them together. So I've done a couple different sort of at-home experiments with peonies to see what helps make them last the longest in the vase, and I've found that the answer is flower food. So if you have flower food packets lying around at home, you can use those. If not, I have another video showing you how to make flower food yourself. So as I'm working my way around here, just slowly filling in. These guys look small right now because they haven't opened up fully, but they will. So I do want to make room so that when the arrangement does open up fully, there's room for these guys to really show off. Okay, so once I've started filling my perimeter in, I can start placing some of the uppers. So again, pull off any leaves. And the grid that we've created by working out side up helps hold everybody in place. Okay, so I'm going to put a couple more in, and then I'm going to start adding some of my filler because I want that to have a moment. And you know what the secret to every good flower arranging video is? Bucket for your junk down below. Now I'm going to start adding in some of my filler and my greenery. So greenery, I have mint. For longer stems of mint, this guy is not one of them, but if I had a longer stem of mint, I actually break it in half and use the top piece and then the bottom piece as 2 separate pieces of greenery. And that's just a tip for any kind of greenery. You can do that with eucalyptus, ruscus, Persian cress, anything you have that has a pretty substantial stem on it. I know Trader Joe's sells them, like 3 of them for whatever in a bunch. If you're in a pinch, you can break them in half. So I'm just putting them in place to place. I have a lot of people ask me, if you are growing mint, how do you get it to not droop when you pick it? And the answer I always give is to pick early in the morning before the sun has really come out, and the second you snip it, immediately into cold water. Because I picked this yesterday and it's still very nice, no drooping here. This basket is coming along very nicely. You can just kind of tuck your mint wherever you think you need a little bit of green. Now I'm going to start playing with some of my filler flowers. These are Shasta daisies, and I have a bone to pick with the creator of daisies. They smell, and it's not pleasant. And they're beautiful, fun, sunshiny little flowers, but they do not smell good. And I don't know who came up with the expression fresh as a daisy, but again, there is nothing fresh about the smell of a daisy. So I cut these a little shorter to fill in sort of around the edges with a little pop of daisy. And then some I'm gonna leave with their taller stems, and you'll see in a second. One thing I'll give daisies, they're super easy to strip the leaves off. Okay, now I'm gonna add a little, my dappled willow. So these guys are just fun little speckled leaves. Earlier in the spring, the leaves are super, super pink on the new growth. But now that we're stretching on and we've had some hot weather, they start to turn white, and eventually they'll turn almost 100% green. Let's add some of this arugula in. It smells just like arugula, which obviously makes sense because it is arugula, but these little things here are the seed pods that have just started to form. Arugula is very prolific. If you let it self-seed itself once, it will come back every single year. I don't mind because it sort of walks itself across my garden, which is nice because I don't have to worry about planting it in a new spot every year. Put some taller guys here in the middle. Okay, so now looking over the top of this, I can see there's some room here. Over the top, you can see we've got some bald spots to fill in. That's where our peonies are gonna come in, but I just wanna put in some of these fun little cosmos. I'm gonna do that here so you can sort of see them holding themselves up. Okay, put that in with a peony. Put that in with a peony. Okay, so now this is the fun part. You've got extra flowers. You can just sort of start to place. For height, I really love these daisies. They have a nice bounce to them. Here are my cosmos. I'm gonna put some of these tighter buds in here because they will open up. Here, and just going to do a couple of things. I'm going to tuck this greenery right there, turn that guy around, and I feel like I have a little bald spot here, so a little bit of greenery there. How about one of these cute little cosmos? And I think right here we need a little something. So how about that peony to fill that in? Pretty cute, right? I think this is a nice summery arrangement. It's using all early spring perennial stuff that might be available to you in your yards. I'm Bethy, I'm a gardening educator, and I'm here to help your garden grow.